Alistair Weaver here for Edmunds in not-so-sunny Spain with the new Volvo EX30, arguably the most interesting EV to be launched this year. This is a fully electric SUV from an upmarket brand with a range of up to 275 miles that can be yours for around $36,000. That's cheaper than a Tesla Model 3 and about $10,000 less than the average price of a new gas car in the US. So what are you getting for not that much of your hard-earned cash? The EX30 is a great piece of design. It looks premium, it looks like a Volvo, and it looks like an EV. But it is small. It's designed to sit below the XC40 Recharge in Volvo's EV lineup, and at just under 167 inches long, it's shorter than the Mini Countryman. That's handy in the back streets of Gothic Barcelona, but it might just limit its appeal in the Midwest. Inside it's not quite as cramped as you might imagine, and this isn't massively fair because I'm 6'4". We've set up this front passenger seat for my 6-foot co-driver, and as you can see I've still got room to get my knees in behind the seat. A couple of 6-footers should be able to sit in tandem in reasonable comfort, and of course kids will be fine. There's also plenty of headroom despite this big glass roof. Lots of nice detailing too, big door pockets. Electric window switches are here, a couple of USB-C ports, and check this out, a handy little tray with a beautiful Swedish sunset carved into the plastic. There's also plenty of clever detailing here in the front, which helps it to feel bigger than it actually is. Let's face it, Volvo was doing Swedish minimalism before Tesla was even born. You get a squarish steering wheel, you get a 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and in this model a Harman Kardon soundbar, kind of thing that you get in front of your telly, which spreads its way across the dashboard. That means there's no speakers in the door, so you get bigger door pockets. Check this out too. You get nice little cup holders that slide out or slide away when they're not required. And in the center console here, more clever thinking, get kind of a double layer effect. There's also plenty of tech in this car. Volvo's teamed up not just with Google, but also with Apple, so you get wireless Apple CarPlay, you get integrated Spotify, integrated Google Maps, and an interface that, at first glance at least, seems pretty easy to use. One other little neat feature I wanted to call out, the glove box has been moved from in front of the passenger to under here. So you press the touchscreen display and out it pops, so you can access your sunglasses without having to get too touchy-feely with your passenger. Nice thinking. So what don't I like? Well, my biggest gripe is this. For a brand obsessed with safety, and rightly so, it seems odd that Volvo's decided to locate the speedometer here in the center of the car, kind of Tesla style. Now, apparently there's an argument that your eyes refocus better from here to here than they would if it was right in front of your eye line, but having lived with a Model 3 for several years, I can confirm that that is complete crap. Trunk space, I hear you ask. Well, it is okay. We've got an overnight flight bag, or camera bag if you prefer, a decent sized rucksack in there. I think there's plenty of room for the family shop, and of course the seat split fold for that extra SUV utility. Now, if you're not great at jigsaws, Volvo's thought of that, and they've actually put on here a little kind of pictogram of all the things that should fit, from a stroller to a set of golf clubs to what appears to be a living room lamp, the kind of thing that your grandma probably had. It's a nice bit of Swedish eccentricity. There are two models available in the US. We've just shown you around the single-motor rear-wheel drive version with 268 horsepower, but there's also a two-motor trim with a mighty 422 horsepower, if you want to terrify the kids. Volvo says it's the fastest accelerating car it's ever produced. They reckon it'll do 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, which matches the Edmunds test track time for a Porsche 911 Carrera. But frankly, it feels a bit unnecessary. It's kind of out of keeping with the vibe, the character of this car, because at its heart, this EX30 is a very comfortable, sensible family car. And even the single motor version will do 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, which even a generation ago was frankly good enough for Porsche. What's it like to drive? Well, it is very sensible. It's very refined, it's very comfortable. The ride is good, especially for a vehicle with such a short wheelbase. The steering doesn't have tons of feel, but overall it's responsive, it's agile, and even on the highway it's very, very quiet in here. You could call it luxurious.
Volvo probably makes the best seats in the industry, and these are no exception. The only thing I would like is a little bit more under thigh support, but I am super tall, and it's nice that you can move the steering wheel both in and out and up and down to find a really good driving position. Honestly, it's a really nice place to be. It's just a very comfortable, sensible proposition that doesn't try to be sporty, doesn't try to be something that it's not.
Both versions promise to go plenty of miles on a single charge. We're yet to subject it to the famous Edmunds EV range test, but Volvo says the single motor version will travel 275 miles between trips to the plug, 10 more than the dual motor version if you drive it conservatively. That's a chunk more than the 232 miles we recorded for the entry-level Tesla Model 3. Volvo also says it'll charge it up to 153 kilowatts an hour at a DC fast charger, which isn't as quick as some, but quick enough for most needs. In the future, Volvos will have access to Tesla's industry-leading superchargers, but not just yet.
So to the final analysis, and of course the big elephant in the room is the Tesla Model 3, which for now at least has a much better charging infrastructure. It's bigger all around and only costs about $3,000 more. Many people will see that as a difference worth paying. But this Volvo is a very different proposition. For a start, it's an SUV, not a sedan, and it is utterly charming. And in single motor guys at least, it's a very honest car. It's very comfortable, it's very easy to drive, it has a good range, and in the best Volvo tradition, it's packed with clever detailing, and it's also good value. The big question you have to ask yourself is how much space do you honestly, genuinely need? Because sometimes less is more.